If you are ready to set a deadlift PR, this video and program is for you, and I'm giving it away for free at the link in the description. This is the Coan-Phillipi deadlift cycle written by the greatest powerlifter of all time, Ed Coan, for his friend and World's Strongest Man competitor, Mark Phillipi. So this is a very simple 10-week program testing out on week 11 that uses top deadlift sets, speed sets, and the same accessories through the entire program in a nice, steady, increasing linear progression to help you pull a new max. Now, this is intended for a roughly 7.5% increase if you are staying on top of your recovery and your nutrition, your sleep, and all of that good stuff. However, at the very minimum, you can expect that this will give you at least a 20 to 30 pound increase on your deadlift when followed correctly. Now think about that. If you were to repeat this 5 times in a year, you added 20 pounds every time. 1 year from now, your deadlift PR could be at least 100 pounds higher than it is right now. So let's break it down. We have top sets and speed sets every week that are based off your projected 1 rep max, okay? So this is the new one that you're desiring to hit, not your current tested one. Now, what I want you to kind of have as a mindset is we'll test out at the end. So this is good for going into a powerlifting meet or just to test and have a little time at the end of this program to set your new PR. So if you go a little conservative, you have room to shoot up and have a really good performance on this day. Let's say that you only want to add 25 pounds to your deadlift right now. You set that as your desired new 1 rep max. Then maybe you're gonna feel really good on this test out day and you might be able to hit a 35 or 40 pound PR. But if you do the opposite, if you shoot too high, you try to do a 40 to 45 pound PR, you're gonna just gas out and fry out early. So give yourself some room to make a bigger jump on test day. Go conservative. All right, so with this, we have top doubles all the way up to our weeks 9 and 10, except for 1 deload right here in the middle. Weeks 1 through 4, we just see a steady 75, 80, 85, 90% progression. And then we also have with our speed sets a 60%, 8x3, 65%, 8x3, 70%, 6x3, and 75% 5x3 protocol. So one important trick to this, it's not a trick, but just a suggestion, way it should be done, is you should be dead stopping all of your reps, okay? Since we're gonna be testing this new max from the floor, 1 rep pulled from that dead stop position, we want to make sure with all of this volume that we're getting that skill of pulling off the floor every single time, because that's 26 working opportunities to practice that skill here. So even when it gets heavy and it's harder later on in the protocol, you need to make sure that you're not doing a touch and go. You're getting a good, proper brace and setup every single time you initiate a new rep. Now, weeks 1 through 4, this is really the magic of this program, is using the circuited accessories to increase your work capacity and build just a really brutally strong base so that you can push your peak strength later in the program. So we use the entire time a stiff-legged deadlift, a bent over row, a supinated or palms up pull down, and good mornings at a 3 sets of 8 reps protocol to start this off. But we're gonna run them in a circuit, not a superset where they're back to back, but we're gonna want to do our stiff-legged deadlifts, rest about 60 to 90 seconds, then our bent over rows, rest about 60 to 90 seconds, then our pull downs, rest about 60 to 90 seconds, and then complete our circuit with the good mornings. So it'll be 8 reps a piece through all of these, and then we're gonna wanna take anywhere from a 2 to 3 to 4 minute rest between full circuits. So we'll have 3 full rounds of that. And this is just building the entire posterior chain up. So we're using this to just make that backside rock solid and ready to lift heavy weights, because we're hitting our hamstrings and glutes and low back We're getting our lats and upper back involved. We're getting our upper back involved in other ways here, as well as our grip, and then even more posterior chain. So just big compound movements mixed in to help you be brutally strong, okay? So that happens all the way through week 4. Now, when this program was written out, there wasn't any weight prescriptions or percentages given for a lot of these accessories, but my recommendation is to start this somewhere around 60% intensity, or an RPE 7, so that's somewhere where we would describe this as you could probably do 3 more reps a piece on this, but because of the workload and the volume, it's going to start to get fatiguing near the end. So we want to start there, and we'll keep adding up through the program. Now, once we get to week 5, we're going to actually start adding in power shrugs, and the power shrugs are based off of your original starting 1 rep max on a deadlift. So we're going to do a 3x5 on week 5 with power shrugs, and then we're going to stop circuiting all these movements, but still do them at a heavier percentage, heavier weights, and 3x5. So again, no circuit. We would just do 3 sets of 5 stiff-legged deadlifts, 3 sets of 5 bent over rows, 3 sets of 5 pull downs, 3 sets of 5 good mornings. But I do want to really ingrain this into your head that we're looking to make strength gains every week. So if we have all of these accessories where we're just refining the whole backside of our body and getting it stronger and stronger, we have to give ourselves a pattern of making weight jump week after week after week after week. That's how the body builds adaptations. So just be patient and don't be at like a maximal weight here, because we want to be able to go up here, and then in week 7 we drop the volume. So we're only doing 2 sets of 5 on all of these, but you should be able to go pretty dang heavy at week 7 and 8 at only 2 sets of 5 on all of these moves. So as we're doing that, again, we were still building up these top sets. Okay, so we have that ascending pattern in weight up to week 5, where then we have a deload. We're just going to hit an 80% for 3, 65% 3x3 for our speed sets, and then start building back up. So the launch pad is ready. We're just kind of starting this build up. We take a step back. Here's our new baseline, and then we start climbing up from 80% instead of 75%. And now these are really not crazy jumps. That's one thing that's really good about this program, is when you're only adding 5%, 5%, 5%, then 2.5% and 2.5%, there's not really super gigantic weight jumps that are involved with this. So mentally, you should be telling yourself like, okay, from week to week, I did 5% here. I can do 5% again. I can do 5% again. That's nothing. That's the same jump I made last time. And then, oh, I only have to do 2.5%. I was making bigger jumps before that. And that's also a strategy that you should think if you are doing a powerlifting meet, or you're just going into this like test and meet protocol. So if this works out, we're actually going to be setting a new 1 rep max at the very end of this program. But our body is under fatigue. The way that we make gains is by taking a lighter period. This is this deload reload week, and then getting the super compensation effect so that we perform at our highest abilities in a testing situation. So you could actually end up getting somewhere up to a 105% increase, but that's again only if you're a master of your recovery, your mindset, and you're locked in every single aspect outside of just your training program. So I want to encourage you to really master that stuff, because that's just how you get the most out of all of this work, okay? Now, the one thing that happens at the very end that I would like to point out is there is a way back off in week 9 of volume for our speed sets and our accessories. So we're only down to 2 sets of 5 on power shrugs only and stiff-legged deadlifts. We're not doing the rows, the pull downs, or the good mornings, okay? We just want that decreased volume to allow our body to recover from the heavier weights in the end of this program, because it is pretty taxing and frying to our system. So make sure that you honor this. You don't push it, even if you feel really good. Hopefully you're feeling pretty strong at this point. And then at week 10, you just come in and hit your top single. No speed sets, no accessories. You need to go home, rest, and of course, very importantly, don't just go home and sit on the couch. You need to be active with your recovery, going for walks, getting your steps in, foam rolling, stretching, and getting a good night's sleep. So this is the Ed Coan, Coan-Phillipi deadlift routine. The reason that this is so popular and so many people use it is because it works and it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. So for a free copy of this, hit the link in the description down below. I hope you use it to get strong. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop them in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like button, click subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a championship day.